Senator John Fetterman has built his political career on calling it like he sees it. And we have a lot to talk to him about right now. So please welcome back Senator John Fetterman.
Senator John Fetterman just went on The View addressing Hunter Biden, Trump, Israel, and why the left is having a full-blown identity crisis. Fetterman shames his own party, and The View is not having it.
Even the Democrats are all over it. But what do you think? Is this much ado about nothing? It is his son, after all. And people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated. But I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now is that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and then I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases. And we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
Politically motivated, I disagree. If Hunter wasn't Biden's son, he would be working at a sketchy vape shop, not jet setting with foreign oligarchs. This is ironic coming from a guy whose party has turned prosecution into a partisan hobby. Hunter was pardoned because daddy cannot see his precious son behind bars, and Joe Biden is on his way out the door. He's going to use and misuse any power he has before he becomes irrelevant at home without any further say in how the country should be run, which, for most American citizens, or all American citizens, is a good thing. Joe also attacked the DOJ for going on a witch hunt and denying the fact that Hunter actually committed a crime.
And now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful calling it, well, now he's a convicted felon and those things. And now for our party, we were talking about criminal justice and we're now talking about second chances. And now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated. And those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize that.
Senator, many of Trump's cabinet picks are raising eyebrows, but right now all eyes are on Pete Hegseth, who has faced sexual assault and alcohol abuse allegations. He denies any wrongdoing and says he isn't going anywhere. But where do you think this is heading? And there are reports that privately Trump is considering other names to lead the Pentagon, including Governor DeSantis. These two were bitter rivals during the primary. So given their past, is this something you see happening?
Well, no, I mean, for me, it's like I would like to remind everybody that are watching this that Trump won, and now he's going to have control of the House and my chamber and the Senate, and now he'll also is going to have a Supreme Court that is a strong conservative slant too. Now he gets to pick all these nominees, and I'm not going to get worked up about a nominee when the Republicans haven't even decided that that's who I really want to have at this point. Now there's some people now until they're all doing it's all about the math. With the second they have 50 votes, that person's going to the floor, and then they're going to be the next person.
What is everyone so worked up over on cabinet nominees? President-elect Trump has the authority and right to nominate who he deems appropriate to run various departments and, let's be real, clean up the mess Democrats have made. The View, like many, like to act as if the current status quo is great. No one wants to even consider Trump's cabinet picks might have some ideas that, gasp, challenge our corrupt and defective status quo in this country.
That's guaranteed because Vance will be there to break the tie on through that. So until they can even work it out on their side, I'm not going to get worked out worked crazy or freak out about every nominee. And I'd like to remind that they get to pick the people, and we're going to be in the majority, and that's how this works.
Well, Senator Fetterman, this week, Trump threatened there would be hell to pay unless the hostages in Gaza are freed before inauguration. Now, you've been a strong supporter of Israel. We're grateful for that. And I want to ask, do you believe the Biden administration has done enough to free the hostages? This past week, we learned of a Long Island native who was killed by Hamas. And we didn't learn that it happened 2 years ago and just got that information.
Yeah, well, I mean, to anyone that visits my office here in D.C., the hostages, the posters have been in my office ever since immediately after October 7th in 2023. I've always had that front and center for me, and as if you pointed out, I'm a really strong, unapologetic supporter of Israel and for that too. And it's really not going to change for me when Trump becomes presidency. My vote and voice is going to follow Israel through that. And I think if anyone is going to be honest,
President Biden has not done enough to free the hostages in Gaza. Biden is letting the hostages rot in tunnels and other terrible conditions because the U.S. government is, in quote, in a transition period. How is that even an excuse? Biden cannot exit office fast enough.
well, and again, I do think the president has been a strong supporter of Israel, although there was times when I disagreed with some of the choices that he made. And regardless who's ever going to be in the White House, my vote and my voice is going to follow Israel through that. And I think there's something other is really true, that we cannot allow Hamas to function at all. They can't be a part of any rebuilding Gaza or anything. Hamas has to surrender. It would be completely destroyed. And I think right now, largely that's already happened now. And I want to salute what Israel has accomplished. They destroyed Hamas. They've destroyed Hezbollah, and it exposed Iran as absolutely a paper tiger. And they're not really able to have hold that region in check. And now you look what's happened now in Syria as well now too. So a lot has happened, and Israel did the hard things and confronted these kinds of organizations and these proxies. And that's why I'm proud to stand with Israel through all of that, until absolutely through the last hostages are brought back home.
Trump is terrorizing migrants by threatening to call on the military to round them up on U.S. soil. He's also imposing tariffs that everybody says could send prices soaring, and threats to punish the media who don't fall in line. Of all of that, Senator, what worries you the most?
Well, I mean, nothing really worries me, because right now nothing has really happened yet. I mean, Trump now is 6 weeks out before he's even going to be inaugurated. But America signed up for this. It's undeniable. He won the popular vote, and he ran the table, and including my state as well too. This is what America decided.
Fetterman gives the View the cold, hard truth. Trump played the game and won. Joy asked the question about tariffs and deportation of illegal immigrants as if it has already happened. Nothing has happened yet, so stop crying wolf. There is no wolf. And why not deport the illegal immigrants now that we're talking about it? Again, enforcing immigration laws in the United States is necessary. And like John mentioned, America voted and decided on Donald Trump, so stop acting like we are being forced to have Trump as our president, as if it wasn't voted on and decided by the American people. The View just stirs the pot for the sake of trying to be relevant, which they are not, and honestly, how is The View still being aired on TV? I mean, come on.
So this is definitely going to go in a direction that I'm a lot of Democrats aren't going to agree with that, but I'm going to be a part of that conversation. And there's going to be plenty of people that are going to freak out, or they're going to have these kinds of extreme reactions. But I will be one of them. But I'm going to react, and I'm going to be very selective on picking my own fights on that. And I just have to, I think two things are true at the same time, whether it's like the border, or whether it's with abortion or other these kinds of issues. I've been very clear on some of those things, but it's undeniable the Republicans now have the ability to run that table, and our party is going to have to respond.
The GOP finally has the power to undo years of leftist insanity. Immigration, the economy, education, it's all on the line. And Fetterman knows it. His advice to pick battles carefully, that's him basically saying the next 2 years are going to be wild. So there you have it. Fetterman ripping into his own party while admitting the GOP has all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more bold and unapologetic content.